I am Kathryn Woolley and I'm the Global Air Quality Lead at Buro Happold. So within London, a big urban city, transport emissions have been the main focus of the past few years. Most people understand the impacts of the ultra-low emission zone, but for air quality, this impact has been significant, with 99% of all air quality monitoring locations across London seeing a benefit of this policy. So it's having a great effect across London. Within London or the United Kingdom in general, we have quite a few projects on the go. Canning Town, where we're working with Jessica and Wiles to develop a master plan that will help local air quality within the master plan, but also outside of it. It's important to remember that what we deem as sustainable transport might not always be in terms of air quality. So all vehicles, even if they're electric vehicles, still have emissions associated with brake and tyre wear. It also has wider benefits, whether that's for climate change, with all of those emissions for carbon no longer released, but also actual people's general health and well-being. If we're being active, moving about, interacting with our cities, we're going to feel better from doing that process.
Hello, my name is Margarethe Theseira. I'm Head of UK Consulting at Buro Happold. Across the World Health Organization estimates that around 4.2 million people are dying prematurely because of poor quality air. It's one of the largest public health issues of our time, so it's vital for cities to deal with this issue. Within Guildford, they've already allocated 2 air quality management areas, one in the main city centre and one in the surrounding village of Shalford. We're helping them to understand the economic consequences of different solutions that are available that would help them to improve air quality and reduce air emissions. A study by Bath University analysed the impacts of the London low emission zone and compared the outcomes with other places that hadn't introduced a similar scheme. And they showed that the annual public health savings were worth over 37 million due to fewer respiratory illnesses and reduced job absenteeism. The study also reported improvements in happiness, life satisfaction and reduced anxiety. If you're cycling or walking, you would want to do that through an area that's not going to damage your health. So clean air is incredibly important because as you're exerting yourself, if you're walking or cycling, you're going to be breathing more deeply. And if that air is very polluted, you're increasing the risk of damage to your lungs as you go forwards. When they are walking and cycling, they're making an active contribution to reducing air pollution. So that in itself is a real benefit. There's a huge range of innovations that cities are applying to improve air quality for the people who are living in their locations. We've seen the introduction of low emission zones. So from 2008, London introduced a low emission zone in England, and that's gone from city to city. So Bath has introduced one, Birmingham, Scottish Government has been very strongly focused on introducing low emission zones. But there's lots of other interventions as well. You can do things around improving cycling facilities. Guildford, for example, has introduced e-bikes for people to use because it's quite a hilly area. So normal bikes might not be suitable for everyone, but an e-bike, people can get on and tackle those hills and change from using a car to using a bicycle.
Our partnership with Footways has developed the Great Engineering Adventure Map, which takes you on a walk around London. This is really valuable because it gets people to break their usual routines, gives them a purpose, a reason why to try something new. And the benefit of that is that they might incorporate some of this in their day-to-day.
Themed walks like the Great British Engineering Adventure are a really nice way to introduce new people to the city, getting them out walking when they may not have otherwise chosen to do so. It's a really nice way to introduce people to the history of their city. You'll learn a lot if you do join in. And so it's a really fun way of getting people out and about. We've had a marvellous time collaborating with our partners Footways on the Rail and Heritage Loop as part of the Great British Engineering Adventure.
Hi everyone, here's what we're doing for Clean Air Day 2025 and how you can be part of it. This year we're highlighting how air quality shapes our health from before our first breath to our last, and how walking can be part of the solution. More people walking equals fewer cars, equals cleaner air, but walkers also need protection because we're often the most exposed to pollution, especially on high traffic streets. That's why low pollution walking routes are so important. As part of the Great British Engineering Adventure, we're spotlighting the infrastructure that makes walking safer, easier and more enjoyable. So check out the maps in the bio, switch your journey to walking using Footway's network of quiet and enjoyable and below pollution streets, or follow the Rail and Heritage Loop, a circular route connecting 10 major rail stations with enjoyable streets full of engineering history. Because the more we walk and the cleaner the routes we walk on, the better the air for everyone.